Hi and welcome back to Black Belt Secrets once more. Today I've got a morning stretch routine for overcoming sciatic nerve pain. Stay tuned. So any of us that have suffered with lower back pain and particularly sciatic nerve pain, you'll know that when you get up in the morning you've got that very stiff feeling around the lower back where everything just locks together tightly and you really don't feel like you want to move at all. This is the worst scenario because it will compound any problems that are already there. It will make your whole day gradually get worse to the point that your lower back pain, stiffness, and unfortunately the sciatic pain for those that have suffered with it will come back throughout the day, and it generally takes a really bad strain on the whole day. But here's a very quick routine that you can do first thing in the morning as soon as you get up, either before or after your cup of tea or coffee. But this short routine will open up that area of the lower back without risking any compromising positions and without making it any more painful and without being really difficult to do. So without further ado, let me show you what I do. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to sit on the floor with one leg with the heel as close to you as you can and point the toes to the opposite side. Then the other leg I want to put in front of it as close as you can with the heel touching, and again the toes pointing to the opposite side. You're going to place the palm of one hand on one knee and opposite hand on the other knee and push them down to the floor, and then take a deep breath in and straighten the spine up as you can as you breathe in. So a deep breath in and get yourself as high as you can, and that will elongate the spine. Keep pressing your knees down to the floor, so this will keep the outside of your legs here. If they need that little bit of stretch off before we get into this, they will stretch off quite easily there just by doing that. So you keep your inside full of air to lift yourself up, and then as you breathe out, just stay in that position but relax. And each time you breathe in, lift yourself up that little bit more. And then breathe out again. And then you realize you can get that little bit taller, that little bit taller. Each time you do that, it's going to elongate the spine as you come up. Just allows that little bit of space to appear between the discs and give it that bit more space. And then so one more breath in. Lift the shoulders, feel yourself being lifted through the top of the head, lifting that spine up, and then breathe out. So after 2 or 3 breaths of that, keeping the knees pressed firmly down to the floor, keeping the back nice and straight, lifting up through the head. So once you've done that 2 or 3 times, then you're going to start big circles from the hips here. So you're not moving the upper body, but you'll be moving from the hips as a pivot point right from here. So keeping the knees pressed firmly down, you're going to slowly use your hands to move your body around, pressing down, but moving from the hips, making as big circles as you possibly can. So you come forward, across, and back, slightly back, and then around again. It can be quite slow, or if you feel comfortable, you can do that a little bit quicker. But the key is you're moving from the hips, and nice big circles here. Once you've done 2 or 3, you'll stop and then come through the other way around. But just pushing to the extreme distance, as far forward, as far into the corners, as far to the sides, a little bit behind, and then to the other sides, all the way around that you can. You will feel that this is opening up the hips a little bit as well, because the hips play a big part in the muscles that lead into the lower back, which causes that stiffness. If you can keep your knees down by themselves, you can put your hands on your lower back to encourage that movement to be from the hips, and you can feel the lower back muscles engaging in this movement. So it's engaging them as well as stretching them out that little bit. And you can change direction once more. So this is just the first step in loosening up those hips and the lower back. Next, the leg that you've got on the outside, you're going to take out to the side, and don't worry if you're not quite so flexible, You don't need to grab hold of the foot if you can't, but the idea that it is out to the side so that you'll stretch the hamstrings on the bottom as well. You're going to lay your arm as close to the floor as you can, or just your elbow, or just pointing towards the floor. And if you can lie your arm down, that's great. Even better if you can tuck the hand underneath the leg, even better, it gives you something to hold on to. And then you're going to turn your head away from your leg and look up to the ceiling. You're going to bring this elbow pushing backwards, and with a big deep breath in, you're going to push the shoulder backwards, the elbow backwards, and lift the whole of the body up and back away from the floor with a big deep breath. And hold that for a moment, and then as you let go of the breath, just relax towards this leg over here. And then hold that position, and then on each, you'll take 2 or 3 breaths in like that. So on the intake of breath, push everything backwards and upwards, and then hold, and then as you let go, down to the leg. So deep breath in, lift everything up, and as you breathe out, just over to this leg. Only small movements, you won't expect a huge amount of movement, but you will feel some movement. And then on the next breath, you can come back to straight position and bring this leg back in, and then you're going to swap the leg that's on the outside. Already you should feel something in the lower back slightly different. Now again, just as before, pressing the knees down, heels in as far as you can, both hands, one palm to each knee, and again with the circles. Remember, from the hips here, so it's not just the upper body that's moving, it's from the hips. So if you need to, put your hands here to push yourself so that you can feel the extreme of movement that is coming from the hip here, but also keep those knees down. That's why it's useful to have the palms here. It's a big circle from here and around you go. So pushing on the knees over here to keep them down and to allow you to push the extreme positions just as far as you can go. There shouldn't be any pain in this movement. It's a releasing movement for the hips and the lower back. So big circles, using your knees as a sort of leverage to move yourself around. And then you'll find one hip on different days will be stiffer than the other. This one today for me is stiffer than this one, but that just helps you to work out those stiff areas and get rid of them. And then opposite direction, and again it's loosening up the same areas, but the different direction allows it to open up in a slightly different way. And you'll find on each time that you go around, you'll feel it opening up, loosening up just that little bit more. And once you've done 2 or 3 of those, again, you're going to take this leg out to the side, just as far as you can. This isn't a stretching routine per se, it's more loosening off all of the muscles that are in each area that are all joined together to create this stiffness that you get in the morning. And remember, this is designed to be a quick routine, so you don't need to spend too long on any one of these things. Now again, lying the hand down if you can, and if you can, tuck it under here, just gives you that little bit of leverage again. And on the intake of breath, everything on this side is going backwards and upwards. So deep breath in, hold for a second, and then when you breathe out, just over to this leg just a little bit. And then you can take a deep breath in here and hold this position, and then out. And then on another intake, you take everything back and up. And then when you breathe out, over to this leg again. A more advanced method of doing this is, as you do the intake, you'll have your hand here. Allows you a bit more leverage to get back, and then as on the out breath, you'll reach over as if you're trying to grab the toes. That allows you to get even further over. And then on the next in breath, come back to center and bring the leg back in again once more. And then you can press knees down again, close your eyes, couple of deep breaths in and elongate the spine upwards. And then on the out breath, just relax. Drop the shoulders and relax the shoulders, relax the hips, and just sit for a few moments of still. And you should hopefully feel that you've worked out a little bit of the stiffness in those hips. Just rock yourself gently side to side. Any stiff areas that you might still feel, so whether that be part of the back or in the hip, you can feel where those tiny areas of stiffness remain. So if you have, for argument's sake, for example, you might have a slight stiffness in the middle of the back here, you could just lean away gently from that stiffness and then just hold that for a few seconds and then come back again. And then once more you repeat that. Deep breath in, stretch the spine upwards, and on the out breath drop your shoulders and just relax into stillness, and then feel where any stiffness remains. Rock yourself side to side once more with the hands, and hopefully everything should be a lot freer than it was before. So that's a very quick morning routine. It should take you no more than 2 or 3 minutes to do this, but when you get up, you'll find that you've loosened off that stiffness that would otherwise have ruined your day. So thanks for watching, subscribe, and leave me any comments or questions in the comments box below. And please keep watching. See you next time.